Well, hello, everybody. Good day. Welcome to the show. Hopefully one of the final ones from a fucking bedroom.
Oh, really? We got some news on the new studio?
No, not well. I think before I'm going to get out of this bedroom, no matter what.
Fair
so,
enough.
they come on gross on Friday to do the carpet. So Thursday after the show, I'll have to pull everything out of there. There's a bunch of studio equipment in there. I'll pull all that out. And then Friday they lay the carpet, and then I can kind of put stuff back in there. At that point, I could literally bring this setup at least in there. And I think because this weekend is going to kind of be put it together, and I believe I've got Tyler coming by to do internet. Like they've got to run through the cement to run internet into that room. So
Yeah.
anyway, hopefully by Monday I can at least be in there, and because all that bullshit will be done, which is exciting. I hope, anyways. It's been crazy around here. The whole family, except me, of course, the whole family's been sick for like I don't know 6 months.
Great. So now you can't really go anywhere else in the house. You're like, I'm just going to quarantine off for a little bit.
I don't care. I have
Oh,
this
fair enough.
philosophy with no. Your response is reasonable, Garrett.
Yeah.
That's a
I always think,
reasonable
like, you know what?
response.
If I'm going right, I got a job to do tomorrow. I'm going to stay away from that. Let
Mhm.
them get over it.
I don't do that. I subscribe to the George Carlin
Obviously.
beliefs in life. I didn't give a shit about COVID. Not on day one. Not 5 years later today. Didn't care.
I was one of the few people who kept a job through the whole thing.
Yeah. I had a few friends that did that, and I just wasn't gonna do that. Run around and look at what I touched and where I walked, and oh my god, I didn't change any habits. I've
Yeah.
never gotten COVID. I'm
Well,
sure it's terrible for some. I never cared. I just didn't. It was like, yeah, if this is the way I go out after everything I've done to myself, this takes me okay, whatever.
yeah.
And I feel the same way about colds. It's like Marshall's sick, G's sick, the warden's sick, the dog's sick. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. And so I walk upstairs, do what I need to do, and then CC and I come back down here and I just don't worry about it. I'm just
Fair
like,
enough.
okay.
That's probably why it
And
doesn't hit you.
yeah, maybe,
Because if it
maybe.
really
And
does,
it's
you
like,
just don't even think about it.
yeah, it's
I'm a
like,
little tired
okay.
today, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Yep, nothing I can do about it. So, anyways, I just keep trucking along. I think there has been something going around like nationwide for a minute now. I think I was texting with Travis a couple weeks ago, and he was like, "Oh God, I've been sick as shit for 2 weeks," and he doesn't strike me as a real sicky type person, but
Yeah, he's kind of the get up and want to work every day. I don't think he's a guy who'd lay down for a while.
yeah. So if he's getting walloped, it probably means something pretty serious
Something
is
hit.
going around. And there's no doubt, like anytime I see a little kid sick, I'm like, oh, I got a big day at school tomorrow. I just assume they're trying to get out of something, but kids aren't good at keeping up the ruse after a while. And so
Yeah.
Marshall, when it's like, yeah, he's got something. He's been coughing forever, and the warden can't hide it. And then G threw his back out. And that's the key.
Yep.
G's my muscle usually.
Oh.
And so it's like, oh God, I actually took a picture of him. He'd kill me if I showed it, but fuck him. Um,
We won't tell. Nobody tell G.
yeah, there, there he is. He's got a cane in his hand.
Aw, look at him go.
There's CC behind him.
Look, in
CC's like,
fairness to
D,
him.
D, push him. He'll
Well, in
Yeah, I was
fairness
like,
to him, though, I mean, I'm 27. I've had days where I'm walking with a railing, like, oh, hold on, my back's
yeah.
fucked.
That cane, by the way, is we bought that drive when me and the warden and Marshall were driving cross country. Like every truck stop we were at, I want to run in, piss, and get the fuck out of there. And I'm with the warden and a kid, so I'm on
Yeah.
family time, which sucks because they take forever to do anything. And Marshall wants something everywhere he is. He's like, it's always something he's really wanted. He's
Yeah.
really needs this, and he wanted that walking stick. And it was like, give me the fucking walking stick. I think it was $16. And I bought it for him at some truck stop in middle America.
You get
And
some of the best stuff out of those truck stops, though.
they're pretty dope.
I think
They're
my dad
actually
got a
kind of
sword
cool.
one time,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just as a joke, because my
Like an
stepdad,
actual sword, or
yeah, like an
like
actual sword, like
Mhm.
just that sold out of the truck stop. Then my stepdad, just to kind of confirm he's an American, I made sure to give him a gift for Christmas that was a straight up truck stop knife, like "Don't tread on me," American flag, bald eagle.
Hell yeah.
One of the trashiest knives I could find, pro America shit. He loves it. It's his favorite knife. I'm like, welcome to
Oh
the.
yeah. What's that? What was the last thing you
I
said?
was just welcome to the country, buddy.
Mm. Yeah, he's not from here, is he?
Nope, Scotland.
Okay. Is he worried about getting deported?
Nah, he's legal.
Fuck.
He did it
All
right.
right. Yeah. It would have
You
been
know,
nice to get
unfortunately, it
the
won't deport my stepmom. She's legal too, unfortunately. Oh no.
guy.
No,
Oh,
you were frozen
shit.
on my end.
Garrett's frozen.
We can play this game.
Was I?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you froze like in a weird position. Anyway. So yeah, no, those truck stops are pretty cool. Some of those ones in like the middle of the country where it's
Yeah.
just there's nothing around. They're different. They're next level, man.
They're
Some
kind of
of those
like
they're
the
like
hub
shopping
mart.
malls.
Yeah.
They're like like a Walmart. Some of them are as big as a Walmart. They're crazy. And there's some wild shit in them. But yeah, G's like, yeah, thank God you guys picked up this walking stick. He's trying to get around. So I'm like, well, he's got to get his shit together. We've only got a couple days left, and we've got to move stuff out of that studio and then move it back in. So it'll be a whole thing. But that's for another day. Just Garrett and I today, and a few things going on in the world. We'll have some fun. Boy, oh boy, another Michigan rapper in the news today.
Yeah, I saw this.
Getting all the press. Is this a big deal out there? Because it's actually picked up nationally.
Yeah, it's been pretty big up here.
Yeah. It's got all the key elements.
It's a good storm for a Trump America.
You think so? You think it's more of a Trump America?
It's one of those things where it's like it's the perfect storm of what Trump America can laugh at. You know, it's like it's okay to laugh at the Lizzos of the world again.
Yeah, dude, it's funny. It used to just be we all laughed at this.
Yeah, this was normal.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden, like 40% of the country just decided, no, we're going to be bummed about everything, and you're like, okay. But yeah, we got this Detroit rapper who's filed a lawsuit. I don't think this goes anywhere. I didn't pull up a picture of the lawyer, but I was just like, yeah, that's exactly what I'd picture the lawyer looking like. You know, kind of greasy, wet hair, curly. I should have pulled up a picture of him. It could be in the story. But yeah, Dank Damas, this is great news. Even though
I found him.
Did you find the lawyer? Yeah, pull up the lawyer.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, this is the lawyer that's
him and Dank Damas.
Yeah. Okay, pull it up. Might as well. Yeah, that guy on her left.
Her port or starboard.
Huh?
Her port or starboard.
Yeah. That's a wee little head, isn't it, on top of that grape?
It's a big old peanut on a big sack of shit.
This is the best news that's ever happened to Dank Damas. Like, people are going to make fun of her because, obviously looking like that.
Yeah.
And what she's bitching about. But you didn't know there was a rapper in Detroit named Dank Damas.
I didn't.
Until yesterday, right? Or today. Yep. Yeah, that's the reality. And that lawyer is like, hell yeah, this is going to be in the news. And I could finally get my law firm off the ground. Because there's a lot of greasy law firms everywhere.
Yeah.
Might as well take the Dank Damas case. Basically, if you haven't heard the news, she ordered a Lyft. And I would have gone Uber. Lyft just leads to too many jokes, like I might be Lyft, but there ain't nobody lifting that, kind of like I would use Uber.
Or plus Uber has the Uber XL. Get a bigger truck.
Yeah. I only use Uber because that's what people have ordered for me. I think I've used Lyft before, but Uber is what I always get in Dallas. It's always what I got in New York. I would always do Uber, not Lyft. But in her particular case, I would just think, I get it. You can't Lyft me, leave the jokes aside. It's harder with Uber unless she's worried about, ooh, that's Uber huge,
There's
but
something there.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to work on it, but the Lyft one seems like it writes itself.
Yeah.
So she recorded the incident. The Lyft driver pulled up, took one look at Ms. Damas, and was just like, "Yeah, no, you're not. Yeah, I'm not breaking my car tonight with you.
Yeah.
Sorry, you did this to you, not me, and you're not taking it out on my car." I don't know. Should we see the incident? You want to watch the video of the
Yeah, I
incident?
got it right here.
Okay, let's.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What? For what? What you saying?
Yeah, I got no space. My car is small.
I can fit in this car.
But believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me. So, I'm sorry.
What I'm gonna do about my money?
I'm gonna cancel you. You're not gonna be charged.
So you telling me I can't get in the lift because I can't?
She's
fit
out
in
of
the
breath
car?
trying to yell at him.
Yeah. Pause for
What
a
make you
second.
think I can't fit in the car?
What make you think I can't fit in the car? I don't know.
looks
You
like
want to take a wild guess at what might make me make that statement that you might not be able to fit in this car? Take a shot, wild guess. I'll give you one guess.
Ooh.
Like, what make you think that? I don't know.
It's a tough one, man. I can't think of anything. No reasons come to mind.
Yeah. I mean, could she actually pretend to be this surprised? Like, anybody else seeing this? What's this motherfucker talking about?
I'm more surprised this is the first time.
Yeah, I kind of am too. It's anyway, we'll go back to the video here. The complaint filed with Marco Law says Ms. Damas there paid Lyft for a ride from her residence to a party at a relative's house. The driver pulled up in a Mercedes sedan, and when she walked towards the car, the driver locked his doors and just started to drive away. Oh no, I think we lost Garrett. Oh boy. Does that mean we lost me, or does that mean we lost Garrett? I'll give him a second. Because I do need him to pull up the videos. Sorry, everybody. Oh, there's Henson too. I texted Henson. I was talking yesterday. There's the woke bay.
I'm sorry about that. My whole browser just crashed out of nowhere.
Oh no! Did you lose everything I sent you?
For my browser, no, all the tabs come right back up. It's just the whole browser shut down.
Yeah.
We're good. We're back.
I finally heard back from Henson too, and
okay.
I was like, it's kind of what I was talking about with Amy yesterday. I was like, you around later? He didn't respond, and I was like, you can't pull out of your dad's mouth for 10 seconds and respond to me. You can go right back in, I promise. And he didn't. And then he finally wrote back now and said, shit, I missed this. So I said, hey, Garrett and I are in there if you want to join us. So if he pops in, Garrett, just let him in. But where were we?
Talking about video halfway through it, probably.
Here's where I think this guy made a mistake. Yep. So he pulls up, he sees this, and he's like, fuck, I don't want that thing in my car. That thing is way too huge. I don't want to deal with this. And so he apparently locked the doors and started to drive away. The lawsuit adds the driver told her she was too big to get in his car. Also, the tires could not support her weight. I think that's a legit
That might
argument.
be more of a mistake. You should have just stuck with you won't fit back there.
Yeah, I think, dude, there's a way out of this. Like anytime someone's like, oh, yeah, I was fired because I'm a lesbian or I was fired because like there's so many ways to get out of that with that. Because if you do that and be like, dude, the fact that you love pussy and you're a chick, I can't deal with that. You're fired. Like you're that dumb. All you gotta do is pull up, roll down the window, and be like, emergency, gotta go.
Yeah,
sorry. Roll up the window. You're gone.
As you get there, like, oh, dude, my kid. I just found out my kid's in the hospital. I'm sorry about this. I got to cancel your ride.
Terrible. No, that's not the way to do it. Because I'll tell you why. If this goes to court like this one does, they might ask to see records. They might ask to see your phone. They might ask to see from they might depose you. You're under oath, and then they start going through your stuff, and they go, "So where was this kid emergency you yelled out the window?" No, you roll it down, and if you're asked to prove anything, you go, "Dude, I was about to shit my pants. I had to get out of there. It was an emergency. It was personal. I didn't feel like explaining it in the moment." And then let them go try to do their due diligence to find out if you raced home to a toilet at that point. Yep. But see, you could get yourself in trouble and get mixed up there, Garrett, if you roll down the window and go, "Oh my God, the kid, it's an emergency at school. I got to go pick him up." See what I'm saying there?
I'm trying to look up their terms of service to see if there's any like restrictions to what you can't do or what can cancel or call.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's not going to be anything in there. They're going to have protections against anything like, "Oh, she was wearing a hijab, and I don't know. You can't, for religious reasons, for gender reasons, for sexual orientation reasons, for any of that stuff will get you in trouble. So you can't be like, "I wasn't going to have some fucking lesbian or some fucking homo in my car." You probably can't for like, "Oh my God, I don't want some slob fat person in my car." They probably, you could get in trouble for that too.
I'm seeing right here, you will not discriminate against riders with disabilities. So if she can get it as a disability, maybe that would be it. But I'm not seeing anything that says.
Yeah. See, we're using the disability thing then, because disabilities are thing like self-induced disabilities.
And let's be 100% honest here. She probably has a handicap sticker on her car, which is going to give her a little bit of a leg up.
Yeah.
It's good to get a leg up before that leg comes off.
Right. Under the law, refusing someone transportation due to their weight is no different than refusing someone transportation based on their race or religion. That was John Marco, the attorney, the greasy attorney there, said. Dank Damas told the driver, "I can fit in that car," but the driver said he had a similar problem in the past and that fat people should order a larger vehicle. He used overweight, but let's be honest, that's what he meant. Fatsos have tried to, pour themselves into my car before. They suck, and I don't want them in here. He didn't say that, though. Lyft released a statement saying, "Lyft unequivocally condemns all forms of discrimination. We believe in community where everyone is treated with equal respect and mutual kindness." Blah. Yeah, that's a fantasy world you're living in. "Our community guidelines and terms of service explicitly prohibit harassment or discrimination." And then the lawyer says, "Imagine the consequences of Miss Blanding." That's a real name, Blanding, not Dank Damas. "We're unable to seek shelter after the driver left her stranded. This could have ended even worse than it did." Yeah, but hold on. This started with her getting a lift outside her residence.
Yeah.
So the lift pulled up to her own house and was taking her to a party. And then the lift guy went, "Yeah, no, that thing's way too big to be sitting in the back of my small 4-door sedan. Forget it." So no, she wasn't going to be stranded anywhere in the middle of blah, blah, blah. She would have been stranded outside her house. And while it obviously would have been a lot of work for her to get her to waddle back into her own property, let's not, again, we're inventing stories.
You didn't strand her anywhere. She's fine.
She's fine. She was at her porch. Should we watch the rest of the video? I don't know if there's anything else in there, but
yeah, you need to order a bigger car.
What makes you think I can't fit in the car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What makes you think I can't fit in this car?
Because the car is small in the back.
My best friend has a Benz that's newer than this that I can fit in. That's the same size.
Okay, cool.
So you really telling me I'm too big to get in your car? So I gotta order another
she's out of breath, right?
And to be more specific,
I'd order a bus personally, but yeah.
What I got to do with your tires?
Yeah, and you have no space.
How you know I don't have no space?
Yeah, I got no space in the back.
How do you know I don't have no space?
Because I tried before.
Huh?
Because I've been in this situation.
So every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car?
Yeah, because they need to.
No, not a big person. A 500-pound person.
No, I don't never have to order an Uber XL.
Then I'm really sorry.
What's your name?
Abraham Carlos.
Okay.
Yeah, and he probably.
Nope.
Just drive away, Abraham. Why are you
Let's be honest,
engaging?
man. Abraham's coming from Dearborn, man. He's not dealing with your shit.
Yeah.
Those people don't deal with your shit.
Look, this is a pattern we see everywhere, and I feel bad for her, sure. But it's like when I went to, it wasn't Disney, but one of those places in California, and they were like, "Yeah, you're gonna need to get off the swing. This thing's not gonna turn with you on there." And I could get the belt on, but I was, 230 pounds probably, and they were just like, "Yeah, dude," and I was just like, "Oh boy." Like at some point you have to take some personal responsibility. I'm not saying people need to be shamed or embarrassed. And by the way, she's the one that posted this video that we're discussing. This didn't need to be a public thing. Her lawsuit would still apply. So she made this a public thing, and now the whole country is having that discussion about what you do here. This idea that I'm going to do whatever I want to myself, and the consequences be damned, everybody else has to deal with it, is where you lose me on these things. Like, I don't agree with the people that are like, what, you think I'm too big to fit on this plane? And it's like, yeah, I do. You're going to have 2 seats. Well, they should make bigger seats then. It's like, yeah, or you could take some personal responsibility for the situation you've put yourself in. Like, it sucks. And I know what it's like to be bigger than you should be. And you can tell in that video, you pointed out, Garrett, like, yeah, you're winded trying to make your argument. Everything about it sucks. And what you do in that situation, because if you just order Uber or Lyft, they have it of course, like everything, it gets ruined. Now there's 50 options. You go there and you're like, I need an Uber to go from point A to point B, hotel to the airport. It's like, well, would you like an Uber for $40? Or would you like an Uber XL? Would you like an Uber Black? Would you like an Uber Sedan? Would you like an Uber by yourself? Would you like an Uber with people? And there's 1,000 different options. It's like, oh my God. And when someone else is ordering it for me, I know they go, yeah, just the cheap one. Which is why Drew and I ended up in that one where you got some guy and he's fucking in a hunk of shit and he's showing you 10,000 videos. And then you get some, like I sprung for the more expensive one in a storm. And it was like, yeah, for this one where I'm going from Drew's hotel room back to mine, and it's a winter wonderland in fucking Dallas, I'm going to get someone with a larger vehicle that speaks English. I'm going to get one that didn't literally crash our border last week. And now I'm basically in a half donkey, half car. And Uber is like, yeah, what's the problem?
It runs, right?
Cool. It's only $30. What's that? Yeah, it runs, sort of. And just the behavior of the drivers are completely different from what, some of them take it as like, this is my job. And some of them clearly haven't been in America more than 5 minutes. And they've come up with their own invention of the rules and laws and decorum and how you behave and how you act. And, it is what it is. I'm sorry. I just went through this. I didn't call to have anyone fired. I didn't ask to have anyone deported, but I'm allowed to comment on what I noticed. When you have your phone sitting up here and you've got some other foreigner in the country who speaks better English than you, because you can't even say hello. How are you today, sir? You can't even get that far in the language. And now we're going to be stuck in a car together for a half hour. So you have your own translator through the phone. Yeah. The music that they're jamming is the same Mexican, like the only song that Mexico has ever produced. It's no, dude, it's the same fucking one you hear at a Mexican restaurant. That song, the only song that's ever been made in Mexico, by the way. Just play any Mexican song. They all sound exactly the same. It's that song. And this dude, the last time I was in with that guy getting a ride, he was singing it. I didn't know they had lyrics to that song.
There's a reason for that flamenco beat always being the same in every single song. It's because the culture down there is very dance club oriented. So they made every single song in almost their entire music industry so that it could be played back to back in clubs. So it's all made to sound like the same song.
Yeah,
it worked.
It worked because it does. You get in the car, it's like, oh, I feel like I've heard this song before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. at
a little familiar.
Chi-Chi's many years ago. Yeah, it's crazy. What do you think of Dank Damas? Should we hear Dank Damas? Because this is what happens with this. It's like, well, who the fuck is Dank
Hear rap.
Damas? And then, oh, Detroit rapper. Let's check out Dank's
you got.
work.
Big Dank for a big motherfucking reason, nigga. Name a bitch, you know that rap like this. In any city, I'ma talk my shit. Stand down when you see a boss bitch. The coldest nigga and I walk with a limp. They hands out cause I'm up now. They hate to see when I come. Put these hoes in the booth with me, I be the one to get signed. I pulled up with like 10 niggas, I'm Big Dank with a squad. They stop and stare when they see a bitch. I'm fat as fuck, but I'm fine. I'm nice today, but I'm petty. Play with me and I'm ready. Why the fuck would they count me out? I'm the Holy Ghost in my city. I'm a hood nigga with titties. Tupac with a pussy. She's overweight, that's what he bad. Ain't shit wrong when I'm winning. You down bad and you finish. Hoes mad in my business. I been hurt, they been scored. Can't fuck around with my image.
You're 2 packs.
Yeah. Big Dank for a big motherfucking
Yeah,
reason,
4
nigga. Name a bitch, you know that rap like this. In any city, I'm a
Okay, good enough. What do
She
you think?
sounds like every female rapper. It's unfortunately female rappers get typecasted because of Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj, and she just did exactly what those two did. She's doing that whole thing.
In what way?
They all kind of sound
sound
exactly the same.
They
It's
all,
like Spanish music.
yeah, I know what you mean. She can she's got a flow, I
Kinda,
guess.
yeah.
Whatever. Her poetry has a bit of a flow, but I know exactly
Yeah,
what you
it's
mean.
I'm a
in
boss
that
bitch.
It's
I'm gonna get
it's all-
signed.
I'm
I'm
a
gonna take your man.
yeah
I'm Tupac with a pussy. It's every
yeah
female
yeah.
rapper.
It's the same. It's what next do that I noticed too. It's
Yeah.
like I'm gonna try to sound as much like a tough man as I can. Like
Then you get the Amy Schumer's my vagina every joke.
yeah, instead of suck my dick, it's suck my
Yeah.
clit. Like okay, I see what you're doing there. So that's kind of the vibe that I get with that. Like
Yeah.
fine, like hey, I get it. You're expressing your art, but there's nothing like I don't know.
There.
It,
It's just
it
there's no
seems like
substance to
that's
it.
what that is.
Yeah, it's like trying to like there's other good female rappers like K-Flay's one I always bring up where it's like a great it's like the Nikki Glazer of the group. You know, there's always going to be a Nikki Glazer of the group, like a female who actually gets it, can actually make her own jokes, has her own personality, it's just fucking funny.
yeah.
You know, like K-Flay's kind of like one of those rappers where it's like it broke the mold of the female rap. It's like, oh, you're just actually good, you're talented, and these are well-written songs.
Yeah.
It's not female Tupac,
you think-
suck my dick.
See, I think Nikki Glazer, I haven't been blown away by her specials.
Yeah.
I think her roasts are awesome. And I do believe she's writing those. Those do sound like her, you know, not that she doesn't ever have someone helping her write those. Most of those people do, but those do come off as her. And they're great in those like 5-minute bursts. But being someone that can take a stage and do 45 to an hour, I don't know. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if what group Nikki Glazer falls into. If she like, you know, it's very hard to become, you know, that speak for a generation comic, which is what I'm always looking for. Like those people. They're just super rare. Maybe that's not fair. I know.
No, but
my mom's like, oh yeah, that's your dad's favorite comic. I'm like, yeah, because she's hot. Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
Just stop it. If Nikki Glazer looked like Dank Damas, I don't think it'd be my dad's favorite.
No.
Just a guess. Just a guess. But would you go see Dank Damas in the clubs?
Nah.
I bet there's more of a following now. I bet
I'm not
would put
allowed.
more. Why?
Oh, the just looking at the group over there, they don't take kindly to the white people in those like small underground rap shows.
No.
You get looked at weird. I've been to a couple of them around here
Well-
where people size you up when you go to these shows. It's not
You
good.
think I bet you'd be just
There's-
fine.
She's
Maybe.
not at the level big enough where you can go to a concert safely because there's enough fans of like all types. She's still on the underground, and especially in Detroit, where a lot of the clubs are run by Bloods. And if you were in the wrong club seeing a rapper, it doesn't matter. It happened actually at the Sanctuary recently over in Hamtramck. They had to recently ban all rap shows because a rap guy went in there and his entourage got into a shootout with the cops.
Yeah.
Because they just didn't like the crowd that was there.
Really? You don't think you could go to the Sanctuary or the Shelter or
It depends on the rapper and who their fans are.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
So That being
bet.
said, I think we'll be seeing her playing the shelter because they probably book her for St. Andrew's Hall and she goes through the floor.
Yeah, maybe. What's the one upstairs? It's the
At St.
shelter.
Andrews.
St. Andrew. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I said. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. What do you think of the Uber driver? Do you think he had a point? Do you think he should have just tried to let her marshmallow herself into that car?
He should have. You know what? He probably just should have come up with a better excuse, like you said, the emergency thing. Because
Yeah.
his argument fell apart really quick when he tried to like jump the tires and jump back the car. I'm like, nah, you either got to stick with one thing or just make up an excuse and get out.
Yeah, I don't know that that's a good play though. The tires, like
No,
he might
that's
have
what I'm saying.
that might have absolutely hit his mind. Like,
Yeah.
dude, this fat ass is gonna pop one of my tires, or she's
Yeah.
gonna throw the balancing off. I don't need to stuff 600 pounds in the back seat and hope for the best. It's not probably a winning argument, but it's probably
No.
just the first thing that hit old Abraham's thought process there. In
And
the
it looked like a
moment, but
newer Mercedes too, so it's probably a car he takes a lot of care for.
maybe.
Because that looked
Maybe.
like the dash looked like a brand new Mercedes. So I think he spent a lot of money on this car. And he's like, I don't want your ass even touching that back axle. If that bends
Yeah.
an inch, I'm fucking killing you. I know.
Yeah, well, I look at it like cab drivers used to do this. Pizza delivery people used to do this. Like, I'm not delivering to that neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm not. There's too much shit that goes on in the neighborhood. I'm not going there.
Yeah.
And black guys would bitch all the time about, man, I ordered pizza and they never show up. And it's like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Cab drivers in certain cities would pull up and be like, nope, I'm not taking that guy. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Like you like at what point because you often hear people talk about listening to that inner voice. Like if your inner voice is telling you something, if you're getting that feeling like
Trust your gut.
trust your gut, you say that to people. Like if you're a woman and you're at a party and you should trust your gut. If it's telling you like this probably isn't like you should exit that place. Well, where does trust your gut or those kind of things, like where does it turn into discrimination? Like if you pull up to a corner, you see a handful of young people, I would say, not even just like, oh, there's a group of black kids. But if I was doing Uber and there were 3 teenage boys there on the corner, hoodies on, the whole world, 3 white kids.
Yeah.
I would absolutely be like, what are these knuckleheads up to? What
Yeah.
are these knuckleheads up to? Like, what is funny to young teenage boys is different than what's funny. Like, lighting the seats on fire is hilarious to a 17-year-old boy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they do dumb shit, and I know that because I was one of them.
Yeah. Well, the thing too is they're trying to argue like she's got a disability of some sort of things like that. I think this is more akin to like, let's say you pulled up and the person was just absolutely out of their mind, drunk, like wasted, probably about to puke. You wouldn't want them in your car because it's like, well, now you're probably going to puke in my fucking car. Look at you. You can't even fucking stand up.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more like it's what you pulled up to. It's not like you pulled up to somebody who's like, you're not being helpful to their disability. It's something they did to themselves.
Yeah.
So
But
it's like, I wouldn't let that guy in my car, you know?
This thought, though, that everybody needs to cater to you no matter what you show up like. You know, hi, I'm 500 pounds and I'm going to make it completely uncomfortable for everybody else on the plane, just getting through the aisle, getting to my seat. Like, no, that sucks for you too. You know, we don't all have to just bend the rules for you. And, you know, this might be, you know, some of the stories you have in your life where it's like, yeah, when I was 500 pounds, it sucked. Here's some of the things I had to deal with.
Yeah.
Cab drivers would pull up and go, yeah, no, I'm not putting this in my car. And it took me, you know, sometimes I'd have to dial multiple. I'd dial a Lyft and an Uber, and whichever one would take me and like, yeah, that sucks. You have a lived experience that this blows. But I don't know.
But I do want to shout out a comment over here that just says it's called Lyft, not forklift.
Yeah, there you go. That's not bad.
That's a pretty good one. That's the one I was like, there's the joke. That one's perfect.
Yeah, that one's better. He beat us both.
Yep.
Hey, we've got Jim Acosta on his way out. Longtime CNN anchor, real sack of shit, this one. And I don't really care what his politics are. I always cared the way he delivered them and made himself part of the story, which is rule number one against anyone in that field. It just is. And all those rules went out the window because Trump. And he was the biggest violator of that. So he announced, and we'll play that announcement here, and Trump's response. But yeah, and this is honestly probably the most views CNN is going to get 4 months, for the last few months anyways. Here's Jim Acosta.
Just wanted to end today's show by thanking all of the wonderful people who work behind the scenes at this network. You may have seen some reports about me and the show. And after giving all of this some careful consideration and weighing an alternative time slot CNN offered me, I've decided to move on. I am grateful to CNN for the nearly 18 years I've spent here doing the news. People often ask me if the highlight of my career at CNN was at the White House covering Donald Trump. Actually, no. That moment came
bullshit
when I covered former President Barack Obama's trip to Cuba in 2016 and had the chance to question the dictator there, Raul Castro, about the island's political prisoners. As the son of a Cuban refugee, I took home this lesson. It is never a good time to bow down to a tyrant. I've always believed it's the job of the press to hold power to account. I've always tried to do that here at CNN, and I plan on doing all of that in the future. One final message. Don't give in to the lies. Don't give in to the fear. Hold on to the truth and to hope. Even if you have to get out your phone, record that message. I will not give in to the lies. I will not give in to the fear. Post it on your social media so people can hear from you.
Yeah,
too.
hold on, let me do that real quick.
I'll have more to say about my plans in the
Get
coming
right on
days,
it.
but until then, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. It has been an honor to be welcomed into your home for all these years. That's the news.
Welcomed into our home.
From Washington,
What?
I'm Jim Acosta.
Jim Acosta.
No, you weren't welcomed into our home, Jim. You were stuffed in our face at the airport. Okay?
Yeah.
And by the way, grateful to the 18. If I was the employees at CNN, I'd be livid with people like you, Jim Acosta, because they're talking about hundreds of people being laid off. You know where they're not talking about that? Fox News, many other stations. If I was at MSNBC and I was just a stagehand or a set modifier director, if I was a writer, if that was my job, was at working my whole career at CNN behind the scenes, I'd be livid with the Jim Acostas. This bullshit of I've never been to the lies and the fear. Like, Jim, that's what you peddled in. You were one of the loudest voices telling all of America that Russians elected Donald Trump. For years, you've still never fucking owned up to that.
Yeah.
Never. You fear-mongered a dictator on day one. You did that, Jim Acosta. When I talk about the harm done to the American people, to people that I worked with, friends of mine, people I went to school with, family members, I'm talking about Jim Acosta personally. Like, I hold those people most responsible. That is what I'm talking about. The Jim Acostas that made themselves part of the story. This notion that why are you leaving this job? Why are all of you being reshuffled? Why are your ratings at about 25,000 people per episode instead of 3 million where it would have been one day, not that long ago? Why did that happen, Jim? Why did that happen? Because you were just spitting truth, holding the powerful to account? Is that what you think happened?
Your job was to report the news, not be your opinion on the news.
Do we have?
If you want to have, I was gonna say, if he wants to have his own opinion on the news, he can do that on the side. But the fact that he brought it to his CNN show every day pissed a lot of people off.
Well,
they're not getting the news; they're getting an opinion.
He's an egomaniac, which is fine. You need editorial reporting as well. But no. These people pretended to be journalists. That's the real crime in this. Like, I never had a problem with Joy Reid, or Rachel Maddow even. They're not journalists. They're not, but the CNNs of the world specifically bill themselves, Don Lemon. And so when he talks about, I'll let you know soon what my next move will be. It's a podcast, Jim, is what it is.
I was going to say News Nation.
You're going to do a podcast. That's what you all do.
Yeah.
You're going to go to that space because nobody can tell you no there. You're not hireable. No one's going to hire you at another. You're not going to MSNBC. You're not going to Fox News. You're not going to ABC. You're not welcome anywhere. You tanked their network. You talking heads at the front of the most trusted name in news. You people single-handedly destroyed that which you did not build. That's what you did. So you could be the hero standing up to Trump, no matter if it meant lying to the American people, which you did for 9 years. It's nice to see the chickens come home to roost. It honestly is. I'll give you an example. Here's Jim Acosta and Donald Trump going at it.
Why did you characterize it as such?
Because I consider it an invasion. You and I have a difference of opinion.
But do you think that you demonized immigrants in
Not
this
at all.
election
No, not
to
at all.
try
I
to
want
keep
them. I want them to come into the country, but they have to come in legally. You know, they have to come in, Jim, through a process. I want it to be a process, and I want people to come in, and we need the people.
Your campaign.
Wait. You know why we need the people, don't you? Because we have hundreds of companies moving in. We need the people.
But your campaign had an ad showing migrants climbing over walls and so on.
Well, that's true.
But
they weren't actors.
They're not going to be doing that.
They weren't actors. Well, no, it's true. Do you think they were actors? They weren't actors. They didn't come from Hollywood. Right. These were people. This was an actual. You know, it happened a few days ago. And
they're hundreds of miles away, though. They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN. All right. And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
If I may ask one other question, Mr. President, if I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President,
that's
enough. The other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am.
Mr. President, that's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other question, if I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have?
I'm not concerned about anything with the Russian investigation because it's a hoax. That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
All right.
What an asshole. What an
Mr. President.
absolute
I'll tell you what,
smug asshole.
Yeah.
Those right there, Jim, are why you're bounced. And why, you'll be doing a podcast from a room in your house next week. That's what you'll be doing. It's disgusting. That kind of stuff. Yeah. That's the president of the United States voted for by the people. Okay? You don't have to like that, Jim, but that's the fucking reality.
Yeah, if you don't
your
like the president,
job is not to behave that way, ever.
It doesn't matter if you like the president or not. If the president tells you, all right, your turn's over, sit the fuck down. Your turn's over, you sit the fuck down.
Yeah. These people usually get one question. Occasionally, when you have a nice enough president who's being generous with his time, he'll give you a follow-up to further explain a little bit what I really meant, what I was going for. That right there that was applauded on networks like CNN are the reason they're dead. They're dead in the water. This is such a joke. And the fact that he doesn't see it and thinks he was somehow the hero in that scenario. No, that was about Jim Acosta time. Yeah. Let's get Jim more FaceTime. These people it's incredible. It's why they're losing. It's why they've lost. It's why they won't be relevant going forward. It's just and then we had kind of a new layout for what that's going to be in the White House going forward. We had our first Caroline livid. Leave it. Sounds like I'm talking to Cece.
Yeah.
You're like, leave it. A huge shakeup at the White House. I don't even know why this is a shakeup. You're adapting to how the times have moved. It's not the AP News. It's not CNN, who has an exclusivity on questions concerning the country and where we are, to the president of the United States. I know that the press room historically at the White House, why wouldn't they want the same 5 people from the White House press corps sitting in there asking the same dumb fuck questions and offering no pushback? That was embarrassing, what we just went through for 4 years. Absolutely shamefully embarrassing how piss poor of a job the White House press corps did in dealing with Joe Biden. It's an embarrassment. And so these people come in. Caroline Leavitt, let's hear from her real quick.
This White House believes strongly in the First Amendment. So it's why our team will work diligently to restore the press passes of the 440 journalists whose passes were wrongly revoked by the previous administration. We're also opening up this briefing room to new media voices who produce news-related content and whose outlet is not already represented by one of the seats in this room.
We have an in.
We welcome independent journalists, podcasters, social media influencers, and content creators to apply for credentials to cover this White House. And you can apply now on our new website, whitehouse.gov/new media. Starting today, this seat in the front of the room, which is usually occupied by the press secretary's staff, will be called the new media seat. My team will review the applications and give credentials to new media applicants who meet our criteria and pass United States Secret Service requirements to enter the White House complex.
I'm no longer on it.
So in light of these announcements, our first questions for today's briefing will go to these new media members whose outlets, despite being some of the most viewed news websites in the country, have not been given seats in this room.
Yeah, there you go.
No, honestly, I've been saying this for a minute. He's been letting Barron make a lot of calls, I can tell, and it's working very well.
I don't even know if that's a Barron call. He definitely did on the interview circuit.
Yeah,
You're right.
That's what I'm saying is he saw the power behind Joe Rogan, Theo Von, and just doing those little podcasts here and there. He saw that power and he's like, oh, wait a second. These guys have more pull than anyone else.
And it's not even close. And you know why that is? Because it's a different form and style, first off, instead of these 3-minute hits, these dumb things that they are still trying to pull off. I can't believe they're still trying to pull it off. But these longer form ones where you can really kind of dial in. And the fact of the matter is this doesn't work if you don't believe the people that are talking. If you have questions about why they're coming from the angle they're coming from, if you just don't trust them. So what, the beauty is, and I remember in the very early days of the podcast, and I would talk to sales teams and they would look at behind the scenes stuff. And what they were most blown away by was the time spent listening to the podcast. That's what they couldn't wrap their heads around, because it was like, oh my God, if you get 3 minutes on one of these radio stations or one of these, they're listening to you for like 40 minutes. What the fuck? And that audience that's like, no, they specifically sought you out. They looked for you. They went to you. They had to download something to even hear you in the beginning. And then they stuck with you. Like having a trained audience sitting there, that tells you that the people are seeking that out. And so that's what is so valuable. So this, I've been honored to be welcomed in your house like Jim Acosta. Get the fuck out of here. No, the people that are listening right now, however many it is, are here to hear us talk about some of this stuff. And they're not gone in 2 minutes and they pause it and they get back to it. Like, it's a whole different world. So why wouldn't you invite those people? You don't need fucking Bill Mahalski, AP News, to give his one dumb question. Like, why wouldn't you want some of these people in there from all these other that are dominating the news? Dominating. Yeah. And to show you, we'll get back to her in a second. Do you have the last couple links I sent you for Gerald Morgan?
Yeah.
And I thought about this. I was watching Steven Crowder. Give me one sec there, Garrett. I was watching Crowder, and there had been a couple mentions. They were giving Gerald Morgan, okay, who was there. He's been there forever. I think he's the CEO now, Louder with Crowder. And he's good too. Gerald Morgan's really good. You can tell he's a decent dude. And he's a big guy, and I think he played football at Notre Dame. And they don't talk much about it. I don't think Crowder gives a shit about sports very much, so it just doesn't come up. But there's been enough hints here and there and shit talking that it's like, I'm pretty sure Gerald Morgan was a position player, like a lineman or something, at Notre Dame years ago. And that should be very Googleable, right? That should be something. First off, Crowder's show, whether you like it or not, has millions of viewers, right? Millions. You don't have to think Steven's a good guy. Dave Landau's been on here. He's a friend of show, obviously.
Yep.
And has been very clear about what kind of a person Steven Crowder is. I'm not here to say one way or the other. I trust my friend Dave. But
you're here to say that he has a big show and a platform.
It's
He's
a big fucking show. There's no doubt about it, which in turn makes the other people of that show also newsworthy on some level. If you get hitched to someone that has a following, there becomes interest in that. So you have a situation where not only is he the CEO of probably a rather large media outlet right now with millions of daily viewers, he's also a personality on that show. He actually gives his opinions, okay? He also probably played football at Notre Dame. Now, Notre Dame was in the national title championship game a week ago. You're telling me when you have a 24-hour news cycle, people desperate for information, we're in an information age, you're doing 24 hours of coverage, print, magazines, they're always looking for stuff, always looking for an angle. You're telling me there's not an angle when Notre Dame, one of the most prestigious football programs in the nation, is in the title game, and now you have someone. Why is Gerald? There's lots of people. Their phones all blew up when you played on that team at one point. I was class of '84, class of '93. Those people, they dust off the old jersey and they get out there and they do little news hits and segments, and there's articles written going back to their cool season. Oh, what do you know? Rudy's in the news again. We're dusting off the Rudy story. And people who acted in that movie are all of a sudden being interviewed about Notre Dame's magical season. How much do you think is out there on the interwebs about Gerald Morgan, who played football at Notre Dame? You can pull up. I Googled it today.
Yeah, I saw that link you sent me.
Yeah.
A lot of articles.
Gerald Morgan, Notre Dame, Steven Crowder. So if you go to news, YouTube host mocks San Francisco Asian American TV reporter. So that means they did one of these things.
Yep.
That's what that means. I hope we can all recover as a nation from that.
That's the only article.
So that's the entirety of it right there. So I sent you another screenshot.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, let's go to all of it. There's got to be something. Someone had to have interviewed Gerald about his time at Notre Dame. Someone's written an article like, wow, how do you go from playing on the line at Notre Dame to being a member of one of the most popular, probably the most popular conservative talk show in America? That's not newsworthy. So what pops up here on everything according to Google? Well, there's Gerald's IMDb page. There's his X account. There's Steven Crowder's Facebook account. And then there's some irrelevant YouTube thing.
An accusation on Twitter.
And a Reddit post. A Reddit post. A Facebook thing. Nothing is the answer. That should tell you everything you need to know about your media. That should say a lot right there. When Drew and Mike had a show, Mark and I were on the front page of the Oakland Press. Front page. The whole thing was a picture of Mark and I with a story titled "The Boys Behind the Boys."
That's cool.
Okay. And then a multi-page interview with Mark and I as 20-somethings working on this really big local morning show. And that's not the only article we did. So you're telling me one of the biggest shows on the planet, the CEO and co-host, by the way, he's the number 2 chair there, warrants nothing? Not an article. Really? Really? No, we're just playing it down the middle, folks. No, that is 100%. 100%. They would do those stories with or without his support, by the way. It's not like, oh, Gerald refuses to do interviews, which is hilarious. Yeah. I bet if I reached out to Gerald, he'd fucking come on here. So No, they would still do those stories and they would leave that blank. They would source stuff out if they needed to. They would go to former teammates to ask about Gerald and his involvement. They would take political questions about it. Well, do you agree with a former Notre Dame teammate now on the conservative? Nothing. Empty, blank.
It gets worse, actually. Funny enough, I just took out the Steven Crowder part of that search real quick to see if anything changed, and I went to the news, right?
Great job.
Now it's just giving me obituaries of people who aren't even named Jared Morgan. Like, this is Gerald J. Massey, Notre Dame USC rivalry, best and the worst in 2021. Gerald obituary. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that last name. Sezenikowski.
Wow.
Yeah, there's nothing. This is just Gerald Morgan, Notre Dame.
Yeah. It's sad, man. It's sad. That's political bias jumping into the story and not doing their job, because there's a lot of, there's not just some people in a market that would be interested in that story. There's millions of people. Millions. Yeah. You know, it's just it shows you where we are. It says why Carolyn Leavitt says stuff like this. Like, yeah, these two seats that are normally reserved for the staff of the press secretary to sit there and look down her nose at other reporters in the room, make sure they're minding their P's and Q's. No, it opened that up to someone from some podcast to sit there
I
and
hope
go,
it's Theo Vaughn.
Sure, why not?
That'd be fucking awesome. All these news official people and just him in the corner. Hey man, y'all ever do like cocaine in here? Like, where'd you find that shit?
See, I know that's funny. They probably won't do that, would be my guess, because
they'll give it to somebody. They'll give it to like a Gerald Morgan or something.
Yeah, and as they should. Or, that would be something where Ben Shapiro, for instance, or Michael Knowles wouldn't be allowed in Biden's press room, this sacred press room. Like, no. These people absolutely have a larger reach than anything your ABC press credentialed reporter is going to reach. Way more. It's not even close. Not even close. The AP asked the same question of Leavitt. They did get a question in yesterday. They asked the same question that they asked the other press secretaries. Will you pledge not to lie to the American people? Great. I'm glad we took time on that. Yeah. What is the correct answer to that question, AP? First off, you're not going to believe her if you don't want to believe her anyways. Yeah. You're going to twist that to whatever story you are intent on telling the American people. So what does it even matter? I don't know. I don't even know why you need these. You should just do Twitter press briefs. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even need these fucking people. They've proven unreliable in what they choose to share and how they choose to do it. Just let C-SPAN cover it, and those that want to pay attention can. But these people have dropped the ball on their responsibility. The Gerald Morgan stories, it's not a story. The lack of a story there with Gerald Morgan, with all the elements I just pointed out to you that make that newsworthy, should tell you a lot. It really should, because that should be a story. The pod bros, the cool young guys in their 30s and 40s probably now, that wrote for Obama's staff, those assholes can't sneeze without it being covered on all the news outlets. All of them. Yeah. The pod bros, bruh. We're going to tell like it really is. What really happened in this election? Why did we get our asses handed to us this time around? That's what's going on. It's sick. So she said, this 27-year-old, Carolyn Leavitt, said, I commit to telling the truth from this podium every single day. I commit to speaking on behalf of the president of the United States. That's my job. And I will say it's very easy to speak truth from this podium when you have a president who has implemented policies that are wildly popular with the American people. It's exactly what this administration is doing. It's correcting the lies and the wrongs of the past 4 years. Many of the lies that have been told to your faces in this very briefing room. I will not do that. But since you brought up truth speak, I would like to point out, while I vow to provide the truth from this podium, we ask that all of you in this room hold yourselves to the same standard. Yeah, that's great. And then she did address the drones. I don't know. Did I send you her statement on the
Yeah, you did.
drones? Which I'm not sure what to make of this. I'll have to watch some more things and
Yeah, because I've been curious about the drone still. It kind of went in the background for a little bit. It's in my own little astronom file somewhere. I'm like, every time I see it pop up, I want to know.
Let's hear what she had to say.
And before I turn to questions, I do have news directly from the President of the United States that was just shared with me in the Oval Office. From President Trump directly, an update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy. A statement from the President of the United States to start this briefing with some news. And with that, I will turn it over to questions.
Okay.
All right.
I don't believe him.
Why would that not have been said from the Biden administration if that was true? I don't know that that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It seems too convenient to just be like, oh yeah, by the way, nothing to see here because the FAA approved it. Well, that would have been super easy to say at the time.
Yeah. So I don't believe it. I think there was. I'm still going with the lost
Is she lying
theory.
from the podium day one, Garrett?
I think she might be lying from the podium day one, or at least maybe not her lying, but she said this is an official statement from the president. I think Trump's kind of bullshit in this one.
Yeah, I don't know.
That lost nuclear bomb theory kind of makes a lot more sense. Like, why would you have some? And it could also be hobbyists at the same time, and that would also say the FFA probably approved drones to be flying in the area if there was a lost nuke. That's probably what they were researching.
I'll say this. Trump, to me, okay, and I know there's people that vehemently disagree, doesn't come off to me as a liar. He speaks in a lot of hyperbole.
Yes.
He speaks in a lot of broad. That's just his speaking style. You know, like, we're going to lower gas prices on day one. It's like, and some people are like, oh my God, it's 3:00. He's been president 3 hours. Why isn't gas $2 cheaper? Fucking liar.
Yeah.
Like, there's that. I don't hold him to that standard. And I don't think of him as really, he answers everything. He's one of those guys. It's really remarkable where no matter what you ask him, he's got an answer for it. And he also is one of those that doesn't hide it when he says stuff like, it's a national security thing. I'm not getting into that. Like, he will do stuff like that too. So he doesn't do that weird avoid the question thing too often. So I feel like it wouldn't be past him to put something in writing and have his press secretary say it and go, I can't get into this. I wish I could for the American people, but I don't know. It just seems.
I feel like this puts a lot of those questions to rest, stops them from looking into it a little bit further. And the big thing for it is like, it's like why aliens really haven't been revealed. Is the argument's always, well, the people couldn't handle it. I don't really think the American population could handle that. A nuclear bomb is probably in the hands of a black market.
Yeah, that would be the one.
That would be grounds for we need to check our fucking military real quick.
Yeah, so you're alluding to if they're searching for a nuclear weapon that
I don't think they come out and say it.
That was one of the rumors that there were 16 nukes meant for Ukraine, and
there were people
one
who
of
said
them
they saw them there.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't know. That drone one seems a little odd. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know how they'd handle it, and I'm not naive enough to think that there's not some scenario that the U.S. government could get to a president like Trump and say, "Hey, look, dude, under no circumstance, this is treasonous. You cannot tell the American people what the real story is behind."
Not until we have them.
And behind this story, I don't give a fuck what you tell them, but what you cannot do, I could see him going fine, and playing along with that for a matter of national security. That wouldn't surprise me. I don't know that I buy that though. On its face, fair. The FAA just cleared it.
Research
it was fine.
reasons.
Yeah, they said it's fine, and then there's a bunch of hobbyists too. It's like, there's tens of thousands of people who are talking about seeing,
The
suburban
hobbyists don't,
size.
and at night, like the hobbyists don't fly at night. What are you gonna do with a camera
No.
at night? It's like
Yeah.
that would be like the drone guy was saying with the nuclear theory. It's like you had something else on the drone that you were looking for that would detect in the
Yeah.
dark.
Yes, exactly. Whether that, I don't know what that would be, the infrared stuff. If
Yeah,
it's
like a thermal
heat
camera, something like
sensors,
that.
thermal
Yep.
cameras. Yeah, that you're looking for something hidden, and
And I don't
wanted the
think the
cover of
average
night.
hobbyist has a $50,000 drone with a $30,000 camera strapped to it.
Yeah, no. So I don't know. Maybe we'll learn more as we go. But that answer didn't satisfy me. It doesn't sound like it satisfied you. But there are much smarter people than you and I that'll be digging into that. I'm sure that most people are not just going to wipe their hands of that and walk away and go, well, good enough.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Some other things to get to. Greg Olson. I love this about the internet now, where people are having fuller conversations and talking about it more in depth about stuff, no matter what the story is. And so one of the stories that happened in the NFL this offseason, obviously Tom Brady, the great Tom Brady, became the number one, the lead analyst for Fox Sports. So he's called, what that means, Garrett, as someone who doesn't watch football very often, there's, 8 games that take place on a Sunday, and you've got your A team, your B team, your C team, or 1, 2, 3. And so a lot of those games are just shit. They're out of bounds. They can turn into great games, don't get me wrong. But it's like, yeah, no one gives a shit about the Jets and Giants playing. They're both garbage teams going nowhere. It's just not nationally a very sexy game. And then you have other ones where it's like, oh my God, the Lions and Eagles are playing. Wow, they're both having these killer seasons. Number 1 seed is on the line. And so you have your top broadcast team cover those. Well, Greg Olson was a good tight end, played in Carolina for many years. I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer or Hall of Fame caliber. That might be a stretch, but he was an All-Pro, I think, multiple times. And he slipped into the booth and quickly, on merit, I'll say, it was like Greg Olson was a name, but not a household name. And it was like, he was just really good. He stepped into that seat with Kevin Burkhardt, I think, and they quickly became the number 1 broadcast team. And then Fox hires Tom Brady, and it's like, oh, we're giving him this $400 million 10-year deal.
Yeah.
And because he's Tom Brady, he's the greatest quarterback ever. He's won all these Super Bowls. And so you just go, oh yeah, he's our number 1. And you've heard Greg and I, or even Amy and I, talk about it multiple times going, yeah, he's not that guy. He's not the guy. I know he's Tom Brady, but just because you were great on the football field doesn't mean you're amazing in the booth. And I firmly believe that's one of those natural things. Like, you're probably not going to be, your personality either leaps off the camera or it doesn't. And that's why Greg Olson was kind of as successful as he was. He obviously has a big personality and it jumps off the page, and his delivery kind of does. And it's like, yeah, everybody kind of agrees right away. Tom Brady is not like that. He's more analytical. He's more, he can be funny at times. He can tweet well at times, but that natural talking ability, Tom does not have that in spades. And no amount of practice, he took a year off to practice and watch games and fake call games and it's like, yeah, that's not going to do it, dude. That's not going to do it.
Almost like kind of like Trump and Elon Musk right now, where Trump is a great speaker. He's able to go out and say whatever has to be said, and he can command the room. Elon Musk is awkward. He's got all the facts. He's very knowledgeable. He's probably one of the smartest guys to do it when he talks about it.
Yeah, but he's awkward.
He's not able to talk to about it. That's what I'm saying. So he comes in there like Tom Brady, from all accounts I hear, is probably one of the smartest football players, big nerd about every play, and he can tell you every little thing that they do. Just can't fucking explain it.
There's just a way, there's a comfort feeling. Tom Brady doesn't cut through. Tom Brady doesn't cut through the stadium noise. He doesn't cut through the broadcast booth. Like some of those guys, you talk about John Madden. John Madden was
Oh, yeah.
larger than life, perfectly teamed with Pat
I know John
Summerall.
Madden.
Yeah, like exactly. John had a way of just blasting through the screen and everything else became background, where Tom just kind of he doesn't cut through that. And the problem I have is I don't think that's fixable. I really don't. And so, the other thing is that's one of those things. And you'd think Tom Brady would understand this more than anybody because Tom Brady was a late round pick. And, this would be like, coaches deemed at some point Tom Brady is better than Drew Bledsoe. Now, I know you won't, that doesn't mean anything to you, but Drew Bledsoe at the time, before he got injured and Tom Brady slipped into that spot, Drew Bledsoe was the first $100 million contract in the NFL. He was a bona fide superstar quarterback, and this 6th-round pick making peanuts comes in when Drew gets injured and starts playing really well, leading the team well. And so coaches had to make a really tough decision. What do? Do you take the guy with all the accolades and all the statistical things you're looking for? Coaches, Bill Belichick had to make a really, really tough, scrutinized, nitpick decision of this is the kid we're going with. 49ers recently had to do that with Purdy. We'll see how that plays out for them. But it's a merit-based league. And so in that instance, it's like Tom was better for that position than Drew Bledsoe was. Drew's career went on. It was fine. But Tom Brady speaks for itself. In the broadcast booth, it's kind of like that too. And it's like, I understand what Fox is doing, handing the keys to the kingdom to Tom Brady because he's Tom Brady. I mean, he's Tom Brady. It's like, but we're not on the field right now, though. We're not winging the ball around the park. Like, this is Tom Brady in the broadcast booth. And, so Greg, anyways, getting back to him, as I call him, Third Leg Greg.
All right.
That's what he was known as at Miami in college. And I'll play you a segment to show you why he was Third Leg Greg.
Oh, boy.
So The Athletic did a Q&A with him. And I like that Greg doesn't have to come out and just say like, oh, no, it's fine. It's cool. I love being here and Tom's great and all that. He's able to be like, yeah, this kind of fucking blows, man.
Yeah.
This kind of sucks to be the number one team. And now I'm calling these garbage games kind of that no one cares about as much. And so these guys are super competitive. They just are. They're super competitive. They want to be doing the best. Yeah. And so
athletes have to be the best.
He doesn't want to be calling the Giants-Jets game. He wants to be calling the Lions-Vikings game. Week 14, week 18, the biggest game of the year. Like, those are the ones they want to be calling. I don't think resentment's accurate, but I also think it's not too far off, if I'm being honest. I don't have any ill will. There's no personal resentment towards Tom or obviously KB, Kevin Burkhardt, or Aaron Andrews. I still talk to them fairly regularly. But yeah, it's hard to sit there and watch games that over the last couple of years you were prepping for and you were calling. And then you're sitting there on your couch, you're watching the game, you're almost kind of broadcasting the game in your own brain. You're saying, oh man, I would have said this on that play. There's so much to talk about there. This would have been super fun to dive into. And he goes on and on. Yeah. I feel bad for him. He's better in a broadcast booth than Tom Brady. It'll be interesting to see what Fox News does, or Fox, not Fox News, Fox Sports does. Like, if this stays like this, I don't know. And there's other people, because Tom Brady being part owner of the Raiders now is a big problem.
Yeah,
it really is. And I think we've talked about it a little bit, but there's truth to this. When teams implement trick plays, for instance, and the announcer seems to know all about it, when it happens, oh yeah, and they can dial it up and show you exactly what happened. It's because they have pre-meetings with these coaches where they go through this stuff. A lot of people learn this with the Decker and the Lions, where the guy called himself in the game. I'm eligible and not that trick play they ran against the Cowboys. Skipper went in, and was he eligible or not? It kind of opened up a lot of viewers' eyes, and certainly a lot of people around Detroit are very aware of this because there was so much coverage of it. About the officials knew this play was potentially going to be run at some point, to be heads up for it. You don't want to surprise them. You also don't want to really surprise the people in the broadcast booth either. So a lot of these things will be gone through in their pre-meetings and stuff, with the understanding that this is off the record, right? Yeah. So we might run a trick play. It might look a little something like this. So the fear is with Tom Brady as owner of the Raiders, part owner of the Raiders, at no point do you want that motherfucker in your locker room knowing what sort of things are being drawn up. Even if you're calling a game, like if the Lions are going to play the Raiders at some point next year, you don't want an early season meeting with Tom where you discuss some potential plays that you might run, some things to look out for, some issues maybe on the injury report that are a little more serious than you've led on to. You would never want that guy to be aware of those things, because someone as competitive as Tom is not going to be able to not even subconsciously let on that, hey, by the way, that right tackle they say has a sprained ankle. It's a little worse than that. You might want to fucking, if you're going to run one way or not, you might want to run at that guy. He's going to struggle today. If you're going to run some surprise corner blitzes from that end, that tackle is moving slower than normal. And I found out it's a lot slower than normal. You might want to explain, like, you don't want him knowing any of that shit.
Yeah.
That's
what I was going to say. It's one of those things where it's like when you know a secret that nobody else knows and you have the ability to just kind of hold it over people's heads, you kind of do that a little bit. It's kind of like, I know something you don't.
Or it's a trust thing, and you would be within your rights to be like, no, that doesn't leave this room. It doesn't leave this room. That this is on a need to know basis. And when that guy has full access to that other locker room and he's making money on it too as owner, no, you can't have it. No. So it'll be interesting. I bring that up just because it'll be interesting to see what Fox ends up doing, because they're going to have a real problem. None of those other owners and coaches are going to want Tom Brady in their pre-production meetings. They're, spending a week in your building in lead up to a big playoff game, championship game, Super Bowl. They're not going to want him around at all, knowing that he's tipping the scales over here for the Las Vegas Raiders. They're not going to want that. No. But so maybe Greg gets another chance. He certainly would like to at some point kind of be back in the mix. And if not, I would say he still has a potential for a rap career.
Oh, shit.
It's been a while since G-Reg. G-Reg was on the mic, but I think we can all agree that he was pretty good. The Seventh Floor Crew was no bullshit when he was a Miami Hurricane. If you don't know what I'm talking about now, G-Reg will be the first rapper that comes in after a little pre-chorus here, kind of right out the gate, and he'll give you some background on himself, what the Miami Hurricane squad was up to when he was playing in college.
All right.
That she was getting fucked on the 7th floor. If that bitch only knew that she was getting muddied by the whole crew. What would she do? What's your name?
G-Reg.
What you do?
Get head.
How you do?
Drop my drawers and let her see my third leg. Chillin' on the 7th floor. I gotta let these chickens know. Big Greg is in the house and I finna make these hoes choke. On my balls, on my dick, then I'm bustin' up quick. On the face, on the chest, stick my dick between the breasts. Come on, fellas, let's get weird. Stick your dick up in the ear. While I'm laughing at these guys, a second nut all in the eyes. That's how we do it, son. In the eyes.
If your hoe only know that she was getting fucked on the 7th floor.
All right, pause for a minute.
I was gonna say, what's that lady we just talked about? Like, who the fuck she? This guy's got bars.
I mean, he's spitting bars, right?
He's got bars.
I mean,
I didn't expect bars.
Yeah, that's G-Reg. So
it was braggadocious, but everything flowed. He was rhyming right. Like that last bitch wasn't rhyming at all.
I mean, if he, I'm not saying he's ready for to go platinum yet, but dude.
No, but he could tour with Young Gravy.
Should we hear the rest of the song? See what some of the other guys on the crew were.
Yeah, I'm sure they got some pretty good bars too, right?
It's weird. You don't hear the song very often referenced.
No.
It's very hard to find.
If that bitch only knew that she was getting muddied by the whole crew, what would she do? What would she
What's your
do?
name?
Big beast.
What you do?
Skeet, skeet.
How
That's
you
the guy who
do
wrote
it?
What's
the
a
whole
nut?
thing,
Ain't for a
True.
mouthpiece. Sorry, trick, if you thought I loved ya. Mom, what's wrong with her? You know I use a rubber.
Man, nigga, stop lying. You use no rubber when you fuck that hoe.
Nigga, I use a rubber. I ain't trying to catch that die slow. Marvelous, can I finish? Go ahead, man. The 7 flow crew don't trust no chick. Acting all innocent last night, sucking TG's dick. Held her by the back of the head till she swallowed all of it. Nigga even told me the bitch did a split. It's cool, cause you know, we a tag team. Whenever we fuck a bitch, all the boys on the crime scene.
If your hoe only know
Slide.
that she was getting fucked on the 7th floor.
All right.
Yeah.
So the 7th floor, I'm assuming, is a dorm room there at Miami that these guys were just wiling out on.
I'm assuming.
So yeah, I don't know if G Reg is real proud of this work. You know, he's with being married with kids now and whatnot. But yeah, Third Leg Greg, I'd like to see him back in the booth, whether that's the broadcast booth or the studio booth, spitting some more bars.
Yeah.
I
To
don't
be
know.
fair, I mean, even if I was his kid or something, as I'm coming up, as somebody played this for me, like, look, let's be fair. That ain't bad.
It's not bad. It's not
It's
terrible.
like I could, you know, if I was the kid of this rap, right, I would just be like, yeah, you know, he was fucking around in college. Isn't that kind of funny?
Yeah. And
Like,
my dad's got a huge
I wouldn't be
dick.
that embarrassed. I'm like, yeah, my dad's got a big dick and he's fucking around in college making rap
Yeah.
songs.
And he's busting nuts at all the bitches' faces.
Oh yeah.
So
this is fine. It's like I would rather have my dad do this than, you know, a picture of him show up with tape over his mouth.
should we
standing
go
up for
back?
something.
Should we listen to his rap one last time and make sure we're giving him the proper credit?
I think about right here.
What's your name? G-Reg. What you do? Get head.
How you do
Drop
it?
my drawers and let her see my third leg. Chillin' on the 7th floor. I gotta let these chickens know. Big Greg is in the house and I finna make these hoes choke. On my balls, on my dick, then I'm bustin' up quick. On the face, on the chest, stick my dick between the breasts. Come on, fellas, let's get weird. Stick your dick up in the ear while I'm laughing at these guys. A second nut all in the eyes.
That's how we do
Yeah, it's not bad.
In the eye.
Not bad.
It doesn't surprise me.
It's a little
You-
silly.
yeah, I mean, I bet it's all true too.
Maybe. Given
It's
Florida
all
State.
true.
Come on, it's Florida.
No, it's Miami, but
Miami, yeah.
yeah, Miami was gangsta.
Yeah.
And they had Luther Campbell was a big donor, and Luther Campbell banned in the USA. Luther Campbell was no bullshit back in the day. He was like the southeast version of NWA. Like he was Luther. What was it? Two Life Crew. Two
Yeah.
Life Crew was like they were fucking wild back in the day. And there were a lot of kids that was just like gangster you.
No, I know Two Live, yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of wild. So best of luck to, I don't know if he goes by G Reg still or if just Third Leg Greg is
G. Reg
appropriate.
Olson.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, G Reg. But like I say, I'd like to see him back in the booth. I'm surprised they'd probably, if he were to get back in the booth and assume that number one seat again, my guess is Tom Brady would start leaking those bars.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe we would get a Tom Brady, shit talk rap too. We could get a beef going,
That'd be good. You know what? I'm all for rap beefs. That's how we should be settling more of these things.
Yeah. Well, some of these people don't beef anymore. They go to bat for each other. Did
Yeah.
you see Selena Gomez? Now she's got Flavor Flav coming to her defense now.
Oh, come on, Flavo.
I think Flavor Flav wants to bang her. That's what I think.
Most
It's not the first time he's come to her defense. Did you see her video talking about the deportations going on?
I know. It must be
Do you have that
horrible.
video? Do we have
I do.
that?
Yep, right here.
I meant to play it yesterday. I think I meant to play it. It was yesterday, Monday? Yeah.
Yep.
I meant to play it yesterday. It's just
Look at it go.
sad. Seeing like
Oh, you know what's even better? The virtue signal of this tattoo on her wrist.
pause it and talk. What was that?
This tattoo on her wrist is the your story goes on. Don't kill yourself. It's such a virtue signal.
Oh my god! What is that like? Dot dot.
It's like
dot?
it's a semicolon. Like your story goes on. It's not over yet.
Oh my god! So she
It's
famously has
an anti-suicide tattoo on her arm.
Okay. Yeah, so she's had some mental issues, and I don't want to pile on those, but
No.
I think she did a documentary and talked about it, and she got tons of credit from people for how brave she was talking about. I don't know if she's bipolar or something like that,
Yeah,
but
probably.
back it up, Garrett.
Yep,
Let's
I
watch
did.
her and listen. Well, go ahead, play it.
I just want to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. The children. They don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I promise.
Boy. Yeah. So she set up a
Does she-
camera to record herself sobbing.
Is she aware that the people getting deported right now are the ones who have outstanding charges and
Shut up,
actual
Garrett.
convictions?
Shut up, Garrett. Shut up.
All the children.
It's just, and then of course the media needs to ask Tom Homan about it. And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to apologize for arresting these. Like, this is, again, it's part of the larger narrative that we've talked about quite a bit lately of these people have created a narrative in their head. They've created a story in their head about what they think people who could support Donald Trump believe. They're usually wildly wrong about that. And the troubling part to me is they're not interested in listening, no matter how many times you try to explain it. Like, this is like the amount of people that I just go, if you voted for this man, you hate women and you hate minorities and you hate my trans brethren and you hate the gay. And
I
it's like,
tell Marina every day. And it's like,
just,
remember, we both voted to kill you.
Yeah, sure. It's silly. It's not serious. And what's going on is it's this story that they've created that they really do believe. It's what's bringing these people, especially ones that are a little mentally unstable, they're losing it. And they're losing it in situations like this, where she has probably not much idea what she's talking about. But I see really smart people that I like, posting stuff right now about they're storming classrooms and stealing children. And it's like, yeah, that's not at all what's going on. That's not at all what's going on. But they have a story in their head. They hear this bit of information. They hear this bit of information. And they've been told that anybody that could vote for that is for this, that they just want poor Jose yanked out of a classroom, dragged out of a classroom, and all he's doing is trying to get, and then they've created this story. All he's trying to do is get an education and a better life. All they want is a better life for themselves.
All of his friends on the playground.
Yeah. And it's not what's really going on. What's going on is there was a list that the Biden administration had that were people that were here illegally that were wanted, and the Biden administration was not helping use ICE. They were doing every roundabout they could to elude ICE. They were bragging about this quite a bit, as a matter of fact, that they were not going to work with ICE. They were not going to do this. And so there were a lot of people, on tens of thousands. Some of them were in prison, which is where they're rounding some of these people up. These were people that were on a wanted list for deportation. Yeah. They'd already had cases ruled on, and they were already ruled to be kicked out of this country.
Like, these are convicted people who are a danger to society. Can we get them out, please?
But no, it sells a better story if Selena Gomez can set up a camera in her kitchen and sob and make it seem as evil and sinister as possible, that they're rounding up Hector in a classroom and just dragging him through the streets and horrifying all his classmates. And
shout out to Lynn, who said, don't forget about Hoseby.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. I would never. It's his brother, Jose's brother, obviously. So it's sad to see. It really is. I feel bad for Selena Gomez because she probably believes this, that there are people just trying to take these children, and I don't know. I also think, and I think it was bipolar disorder. She talked publicly about being diagnosed with bipolar disorder in 2020. And Flavor Flav in 2020 was like, oh my God, she's so brave and shit for talking about mental health issues. He comes out now and says, and by the way, if you didn't know, Flavor Flav, I didn't realize his real name is William Drayton, Bill Drayton. So Bill, if you keep him in the cartoonish like celebrity world of Flavor Flav, it's harder to take. But if you're interested in what Bill Drayton thought about Selena Gomez, this is what Bill thought. He said that Team Selena Gomez, again, this woman is always so brave to share her truth, and so many are quick to bully her. And a lot of people are applauding Bill, for his stance on this. I look at people like Selena Gomez or insert TV personality or celebrity or star, insert any of them here. They have an outsized perception of their power and whatever. Selena Gomez is a child star. What was she on, Waverly Place or whatever?
Wizards of Waverly Place. I used to love that show.
Yeah. Okay. So she's a child actress. And when you're a child star of a hit show, was that a show?
Not just that, she goes back all the way to Barney and Friends when she was like literally a toddler.
Right.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't have been the star of Barney.
No, she
would
was
have been
the
on
star of
TV
Wizards, and that was like 12, 13, 14, I think.
So what you get when you have a TV star is you have grown adults now catering to you as if you're an equal. When you're a 12-year-old star and you're the one generating the money and all that, you can see it, whether you have an extremely spoiled child or, worst case scenario, one of these where you have a child star in a position of power, and they're still children, but they're not told no. It's very rare that they're told no. And so for Selena Gomez, her only way to respond to this very important story, I'm sorry it is, you cannot have anywhere from 12 to 20 plus million people crash your borders if you're having a reasonable conversation about things with almost zero vetting, and let them crash your border and run free in your streets. And, there's a larger discussion, but at no point in human history in any country in the world is that known as anything but an invasion. It is what it is. So I don't know what the ultimate goal is there. I can speculate. I don't know. But what that happened, over the last 4 years, Garrett, you and I and many other people on the show, we've talked about this at length many times about what was going on, how it affects communities. And so you're going to have to deal with that. It's going to get a hell of a lot uglier. Unfortunately, didn't need to be this way, but it's going to. I said that months ago. This is going to get way uglier. Right now, this is the easy part. Rounding up already convicted pedophiles, murderers, people
the ones you don't want here anyways.
Gang members. Like, who are you fighting for right now, Selena? Who are you fighting for? Do you even know what you're talking about? You're talking about 1,000 of the hardest criminals we have in this country. MS-13 gang members, Trey Aguada, whatever, gang members in Colorado and whatnot. Those are the people that are being thrown onto fucking planes and thrown the hell out of your country. Okay? Yeah. So for her, I firmly believe that these people don't have the capability, because of the way they were raised, to have a rational discussion about stuff. This is something near and dear to Selena's heart. She came from immigrant grandparents like a lot of us did.
Yeah.
But we're able to have a rational conversation. I need to set up a camera and sob because I'm being told no. What I want to happen is not what's going to happen, and they won't listen to me. So they don't know how to react to that. So this is the reaction you get. You get this behavior. I'm going to cry and throw a tantrum and act like this is the greatest injustice in the history of mankind. And it's just not. I feel bad for her that whether it's her mental illness or what, or if it's just, following the wrong news sources.
Just wants to do more.
Yeah. Good luck with that. Do another
Yeah.
documentary. I mean, it's like you can't see the difference between people that came here legally through the proper channels and created a life for themselves and have fallen into the American dream and have kind of joined what this country is versus we're just going to take full advantage of this unique situation in time that we find ourselves, which was the last 4 years, and run rampant through America. And we've seen the fallout from that. I don't know what to tell her. I sort of feel bad for her, but I don't know what to do.
At the end of the day, I don't really feel bad for her because she can cry into her $15 billion mansion and that's it.
Well,
$1 million mansion.
that's
I'm
true.
like, I don't care. Womp womp. Your opinion sucks.
I get that, but I also know that being rich doesn't make you
you're not invulnerable.
It doesn't cure. It doesn't. It really doesn't. It makes things a lot easier, and you have the ability to buy yourself out of some problems, right?
It's more
the mental instability isn't.
Too. Yeah.
What's that?
It's more just not so much buying out the problems too. It's just so much that she has the resources to get all the help she needs and everything she does need out of this, and she'll be fine in the end. As much as she wants to cry and sob and go crazy, she's going to be okay.
She will be.
So
you're right. Yeah.
There's a lot of people who won't be okay with the criminals running around their neighborhoods who are just undocumented.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about the people that I know, that not even know, but acquaintances that I see posting, and they're losing their minds about all this, and
those people can't get the same help.
No, they don't have the same access to things, and it's troubling because I feel bad for them that they think their fellow Americans are just evil, sinister people that hate gay people or trans people or immigrants. Like you've been fed a story. We can debate about the best ways to accomplish something without going down that road, because I literally I wouldn't want to associate with anybody that's like, fuck all brown people.
No, exactly.
Fuck all gay people. Get them all out of it. Like,
did have a big fight with somebody yesterday who was going off about that. And I started the whole fight by saying, I don't think I'm ever going to change your mind because they were just that far gone.
Who is this? Is this someone
this was
like
another trans friend
community?
of mine who I play video games with? Yeah, exactly. It's just another trans friend of mine who I hang out with. But halfway through the argument or something, because we got into the whole thing about free speech, I said, well, I didn't vote that way because I talked about voting for Trump. I'm like, I wouldn't vote for Kamala because Tim Walz came out and said free speech doesn't constitute hate speech.
Yeah, that was a deal breaker for me too.
Yeah, that was a deal breaker for me. And then they immediately said, well, free speech is like hate speech shouldn't be considered free speech. I'm like, there you go. Now I know I'm arguing with completely brain dead. They're like, well, I said, what constitutes hate speech then? They said, well, what about like mean attacks on people and horrible words? I'm like, okay, cool. Good. So now mean attacks and horrible words are banned. Gotcha. Next company comes in and now anything pro-gay is banned because that's constituted as hate speech by that side.
Yeah.
Do you think that should be legal? Because that side said that's hate speech now. And I kind of melted them down a little bit.
No, it's something that blows my mind that
like
I can't
the mental illness that they thought it's okay to just give the government the power to tell you what to say.
That's a special level of stupid. Yeah. And like the Second Amendment one, I can understand like this leads to this, which leads to deaths of kids in schools. And like, I can understand why I think they're wrong personally about that argument. Because I think you need to look further down the road and I can't remember who said it first, but it's spot on. Like,
and that's what I was pointing out to him.
Can you guarantee me that there's not ever going to be a tyrannical government?
Exactly.
No, you can't. Okay, then when you can, let's readdress this question. Until that day, shut the fuck up.
And I give one of them a pass for being that stupid. He was a British guy, so he just doesn't understand what it is to have free speech in the first place. That's why he was on that side.
Yeah, I'm done listening to.
No, British, get the fuck out of here. You don't have anything to do with this.
No, but the one that is, it's an argument we've made forever on this show, and plenty of shows have made it about like, just define it for me. The hate speech. You're asking people not to be assholes or be rude or hurt your feelings, essentially. And that comes with a very clear danger. And the point you made is spot on in that, okay, I understand for right now, today on a Tuesday, you think your team is winning that argument. Well, the problem is if someone else comes in who has the polar opposite view, and as a republic, they get voted in, and all of a sudden they go, I've had enough of these. Any
I've had
fucking
enough of
homo
these
says anything,
trannies, you know?
I'm going to take it as ignorant hate speech. I don't want to hear from the fucking homo community anymore. They won't shut the fuck up. Anyone who's known to be a homosexual that says anything disparaging about anybody, to me, we should have their accounts shut down.
Yep. They should be locked up, fined, you know?
Yeah. Or just shut their speech off, close their accounts. Yeah. We've heard enough from these people. They've dominated Hollywood. They've dominated landscape media. They won't shut up on social media, and we're tired of them. Is that okay to ban? Because those people were voted in now, and that's how they believe. And, here we are. And if you start crossing that bridge and allowing, these MAGA guys, they won't shut up about,
Oh, yeah. And I said the same thing to a bunch of MAGA people because there's a little video posted of people burning the flag. And it's like, should we deport the people who burned the flag? And so many MAGA people, get them out of here. I'm like, hold the fuck on, buddy.
Yeah, that's reactionary.
No. Exactly. It's like, that's the right side. The right is guilty of this too, just as much as the left.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see ignorance is not... It's not a political... Look, dude, there are steps and levels to all political parties. I don't care if it's independents and the Green Party. You have levels of people in the know and people that are really, really there rooting for a team and they don't know shit about shit.
Exactly.
It's no different than football fans. You have some football fans that know an awful lot about football, and you have some that cheer for the prettiest logo. They don't know shit about what they're talking about. And,
I like the tight pants ones.
Yeah, of course you do. But that's the danger in it that I can wrap my head around why someone gets to the point they get to with the Second Amendment. The First Amendment to me is, and I even got there with Raj at one point when I was talking to him, and he was just like, I know you're an absolutist on the First Amendment. I'm like, yeah, we all should be absolute on the First Amendment. Sorry, it's not negotiable.
I wish my neighbor would fly a Nazi flag so I know where the Nazi is. Then me and the black guy can stand across the road and drink beers and laugh at him.
Yeah, sure.
And if he crosses some borders and attacks us, now we have every right to drop a Nazi.
Yeah, it's simple.
That's just how it should be.
It's simple to me. And if they break the law, I'm the first one to say prosecute.
Yeah.
When they do. Anyway, all right, let's wrap it there. Thank you, Garrett, for being here. Why don't we do, I got one from James.
All right, what about read first?
Maybe I should. This part of the show is brought to you by your insurance expert. Are you paying too much for health insurance? Are you uninsured? Health insurance can be confusing. Your insurance expert is an expert in health insurance, life insurance, Medicare supplements. You do not have to be. Call Nick at 248-914-1173. Also, MyPillow, please use promo code TDC. They're blowing those pillows out. I don't know what happened there. Well, I know in part what happened there. He pledged support for Trump and got kicked out of every major retailer in America because that's smart. And so he's obviously a threat to democracy. But if you're not afraid of that threat and looking for a decent pillow, they're throwing them out like ridiculously low price. Use promo code TDC. And every time you guys make a purchase there, I'm aware of it. So thank you to everybody that does do that. Just use promo code TDC. Go to mypillow.com. The standard pillow, for instance, is like $15 right now, less than $15. So
$14.88.
$14.88. Yeah.
Actually, funny enough too, I talked to a friend today because I mentioned Mike Lindell or something. He said, "Oh yeah, from Crackhead CEO. He actually owned the book and everything." We just were good friends. I sent him over the interview and I kind of got him to listen to the show.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully he's a regular now. Welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Levi,
let's hope so. What's up, Levi? All right, catching up on James was listening to an older episode, 1940. I don't even know what we're on now. So this is a few episodes ago. We obviously had Greg on, Henson. Maybe I'll wait and hold that for when Greg's on next. Or maybe not. Fuck him. Damn, Mr. Henson was on point all fucking show. He was so spot on. It's ridiculous. Awesome show. He gets less libtarded every show. It's nice. We all love the token hole, but damn, she sounds tinny. Overmodulated? Question mark. So he's talking about Amy there. I don't know. I think I had something wrong with mine. I don't know if I hit a button or something, but when I did the member show the other day with Newberg, he was like, dude, you're coming in super hot. And so I adjusted it. I hope it sounds okay for right now. We'll see.
Sounds fine to me right now.
Can you guys adjust that? It gets hard to listen to. Yeah, if you guys hear something, tell me. Walters at DetroitCast.com. Let me know if there's an issue. Sometimes I don't always see these guys don't look the same to me that they do to you guys watching, whether it's Garrett, Amy.
Sometimes the lag the lag will be on one person's side, but it'll show up on all our screens at once and we don't know who's causing it.
Right. Yeah. So it's a little tricky. Retard and faggot are full on back. Oh, he must mean the words, right? Unless he's talking about you and I.
That, it could be a greeting.
No, he's talking about the words are full on back.
Okay. They are.
I never stop, but it's nice to hear it in the vernacular, like the good old days of 2012. Ciao for now. Yeah, I agree with him there.
The world's healing.
It is. It is. And he liked Greg. Who doesn't like a good old Greg Henson episode?
And we're on episode 1944.
Okay, so he was going back 4 episodes.
Yep.
Great year.
World War II ended. That was a great year.
Did it end in 40? Yeah,
well, in Europe. 45 was Japan.
Yeah, Japan was a little later.
Yep.
All right, we'll call it a day there. Please send us your emails if you've got anything to add. Maybe you think that I'm missing something about Selena Gomez, and I'd love to hear it. I don't mind reading other people's opinions on if I'm missing something. If you work in the school systems, and let me know what you're worried about.
Actually, I know why I like the year 1944. It's the year my rifle was made back there.
I was going to say it's got to be gun related.
Yep, 1940. That's a 1944 Mosin Nagant.
There you go. Walters at DetroitCast.com. Walters with an O, obviously. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see y'all then.